Here's the problem, though. It's probably called suicide attack, or suicide something, because there's no chance in hell General Oka is going to try and escape. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we are back with another couple of episodes of Voltace 5. We record them 2 at a time, live on Fridays, of course, but we are only, of course, releasing one episode at a time to make sure that we always have a new episode available to everybody on YouTube every day that they come, that a scheduled Voltace 5 episode is meant to come out. We are going to be doing episodes 25 and 26 today, which means that we watched episodes 23 and 24 last time, which means I've got notes about episodes 23 and 24. But it also means that I've got a board. The board changelog is pretty simple. I added Bergen, and I attached him to the Bosnian forces. Pretty short, succinct board change, because, much like all the other Bosnian forces, he is an enemy to the Voltace 5 and everybody on Earth, so he just joins in the lineup. I think additionally I've marked him as an ally of the Emperor, because the Emperor sent him. Other than that, though, White Lines to Catherine and Jangle, and I think that's it, really. Alright, as I mentioned, do have notes, though. It only occurred to me after the fact. Who could possibly be in the bird plane thing? Professor Go. He's a character that's literally gone missing, and this would literally be that soap opera way to bring him back that I was talking about before. Also, every fake Professor Go story so far has misdirected to a hidden base plot. Except that if you remember, the first robot Professor Go pointed out an actual study on an island Big Falcon is on that he claimed was where he was hiding out. What if we just bring that place back? Say that's where the real Professor Go ran to or washed up near, and then either created all of this or used something he had made a long time back. Either that or the amnesia thing that I said, and this is Professor Go with no memory of who he is, but still doing things based on a sense of them being the right thing to do. It seemed so fucking obvious to me after I was done watching the episode, and I'm like, wait a second, I didn't think about this while I was watching it. Interesting note, as we are currently reacting to Escaflowne at the time of this recording, the dog episode of Voltace 5 that we watched was written by Hiromiko Tsukamoto. Sorry, it's the first time I'm reading the name out loud, I just typed it. Who also wrote the novel version of Escaflowne. So, there is your Escaflowne Voltace 5 crossover, which, 2 shows we're watching right at the same time. The existence of Garrus shows the complete lack of imagination on Catherine's part. She sends him out just to sow chaos in order to make them a more vicious fighter. It's a dog that can get big and small. It got to the Big Falcon Island completely undetected. Instead of having some weird-ass dogfights, this thing could have used its super speed that we know it has and infiltrated the base. Its skin/fur is strong enough to get into a fight with Voltace 5. I doubt anything the guards could do to try and stop it would be enough. Nor would it rushing at the base be enough to set off the alarms or cause anyone to raise the shield. Garrus could have ripped through everyone's throats, and before anyone could know what was going on. Or most of them, anyway. Instead, just pointless dogfights. I didn't take a note about this because I didn't think I had to defend myself, and I still don't think I do, but I would point out that Garrus has all of his powers before he gets made into a beast fighter. So, anything you see him doing in the fight is something he could have done when he is on the Big Falcon Island. So, complete waste. Since we threw away the chance at a surprise attack, Let's also consider that Garrus's ability to instantly shrink would have helped it more in the scenes we actually did get. Using its claws, it tore a rather large hole into the Big Falcon's shield. Too small for it to fit through, but with its super speed and ability to shrink, it could have just rushed into the hole it created while the shield sealed behind it to prevent the Voltes 5 from attacking it, as it would then rip up the Big Falcon and staff with, the Voltes 5 trapped outside. Another completely wasted opportunity. Speaking of the Big Falcon's shield, the shield is up and the puppy is inside. Then the puppy is outside the barrier all of a sudden, without the barrier being taken down again. I would think that maybe means that the barrier is one way, that maybe they could fire out of it from the inside. But in this episode, Sakunji specifically says to lower the barrier so that they can fire at Garrus. So it is a complete wall in and out. So the puppy just showing up on the outside indicates that there is a hole in this defense somewhere. Like Star Trek Generations, there is some small gap somewhere that could let someone sneak inside. So we just spent last episode establishing that the puppy lived somewhere on Big Falcon Island, along with any other number of strays. So when Bergen's bombardment of meteorites comes down, I have to assume that we are never going to see the puppy or any of those dogs ever again. And my last note here, most of Bergen's beast fighter choices seemed completely arbitrary. The mole obviously was a bad choice, he says, and then makes a giant fish. I can't imagine any of the soldiers of this base being smart enough to take on the Voltes 5, so despite who Jangle may have picked, I can't imagine Bergen's choice was any better. The only thing of consequence he could have done was bring the Mazinger armor to the table. So, end of the day, literally, that's all he brought to the table. That said, though, as I said, that was my final note. So, nothing left to do here but to hop on into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
I do have to think, somewhere down the road, we are going to take the fight to Boaznan. Is that the name of their homeworld? Because again, it's in the opening, and the Voltes 5 is the giant V thing in front of that system. Also, we did get that one episode with General Denga, was it? Where the Emperor is literally saying, I can control the universe from this place once it's done being built. Now, granted, Professor Go hasn't come back with any information related to that, but it very much seems like we've got to go there and stop him from finishing his command tower thing. Because otherwise, I don't know. We're going to be fighting Heinel on the surface of Earth for the rest of time. So something also has to happen on the whole Heinel situation to let us get there. Either we defeat him, we turn him, something. Yeah, we're going to be able to make Mazinger armor every episode now. To what benefit? The entire Earth's military got defeated. That's ominous. But I mean, to what point the entire Earth's military got defeated by the saucers, not even the beast fighters. Yeah, he built the only AI unit you guys have ever seen. On your end, anyway. I was about to say, I at least appreciate that we're seeing more repairs being done after the thing took the most damage it's ever taken. Oh, I was gonna guess the meteor. Yes, Mazinger. Conceivably, though, if you have parts of that, couldn't you now coat the Voltaise machine in Mazinger armor? I guess technically you wouldn't want to coat the Voltaise machine in Mazinger armor after just having exposed a major weakness of Mazinger armor. Kind of funny that we did the whole Bosnians fail to destroy Mazinger armor last episode. Now let's see the Voltaise team try to do it. We got a Swiss Army knife of weapons in there. That is a much bigger weapon than all of the other weapons. I mean, it's exactly what I said before. It's the greed fight from Voltaise 5. They just changed it into a different material. I don't know how that would work. The massive thing they required to fire it. I mean, so how did the tiny eagle... Yeah, how did the tiny eagle generate that much energy? More energy than your entire base. Exactly, General Oka, you're a smart one. Again, it's probably Professor Go. He's the mechanical genius.
超電磁荷重法の別の呼び名だ。
わかったぞ。あの修理もただの修理ではなかったわけが。
Didn't the Sword of Heaven already absorb lightning?
超電磁ボール以外にない。
Like, don't they do that every time they pull it out?
流に耐えられるよう改造を始めている。そげんことやったら何も心配することはなかったい。いや、問題はまだある。果たしてボルテスのメカニズムが雷のエネルギーに耐えられるか。我々の科学力では成功する保証はどこにもない。
Why wouldn't it be able to? All the shit it gets hits with every time it fights.
バッテン、それしか勝つ方法がないならばやるしかなかとですたい。何もしねえでやられちまうよりはここはかけてみる手だ。たとえ重視が現れようとボルテスが完成するまでは
They'll do jack shit.
我々防衛隊が命がけで食い止
Earth
めてみせよう。
defense forces are worth nothing.
よし、ファルコンは全力を尽くして。
Again, that's one of the elements I don't like is the fact that Episode 1, they destroy the entire Earth defense forces. All the national militaries. And then we keep throwing them out there as though they can do anything.
あの飛行メカは何だ。一体誰が操縦してるんだ。
It is going to be real stupid if it is literally coming from that little study that Professor Go just has down the beach.
お父さんは死んじゃいない。最後見たって言ったって海に落ちていくところだけだ。きっとどこかでお父さんは生きているんだ。あ、もしかするとあの謎の飛行メカを操縦しているのはケイジ。
I mean, now I feel like it's a lot less likely to happen now that the show itself said it.
そうグースか寝とるわけにもいかんたい。もしかしたら今度の戦いがわしら5人の最後の戦いになるかもしれんのだからの。バカ。言い過ぎてしもうた。
I don't think it's fatalistic, I think it's realistic.
お母さんが必ず俺たちのことを守ってくれるさ。今の俺たちは精一杯戦うことだけを考えればいいんだ。
It's a real change up in personalities. This is the team I wish they were from the beginning.
俺たちは死ぬも生きるも一緒だ。
So much better than the leader Kenichi is a dick team from early on. 'Bergen is a fucking idiot. Again, his first one was a fish. Now it's a slug.
その働きを見せてもらおう。楽しみなことだ。
That's really like, what's the most intimidating thing you can think of? Give me the opposite. Again, that's nothing. Literally one of the saucers could have done that. Because, you know, when I think slug, I think, of course, say with me now, archer. It's obvious. I think we were all, you know, we all knew what was coming. Oh man, being on the ship, General Oko, that was a mistake. Oh god, this episode's called Suicide Attack. Are we gonna fucking lose General Oka too? Look, he is a generally useless figure when it comes to the fact that the organization that he runs can't do jack shit to the invaders. But I don't want Megumi to lose her dad. He's legit the last parent left in the show. I mean, till we find Professor Go again. Professor Go again. Professor Go, comma, again. You know they're not very good. If you wanted it finished faster, Sakunji, you should go down there. I will say the size isn't terrifying, though. That this thing is standing from the bottom of the ocean to the top, and just... Helmet beam, a little less intimidating. I guess the problem, though, is probably called suicide attack, or suicide something, because there's no chance in hell General Oka is going to try and escape. It's literally, I mean, even if it finished, you wouldn't get there in time. In the time of this conversation, General Oka has died. In the time it takes them to run to the chairs, General Oka has died. I'm sorry, I was just standing here, holding the ship, doing nothing. I also want to take this moment to remind everybody that this transformation sequence happens in real time. As we covered when Jangle was watching this happen on a screen and then turned around to have a conversation with somebody as it was still happening. Meaning that not only did this slug archer guy stand there holding the ship doing nothing while the Voltes crew had a whole discussion about them not being able to fix the thing if it goes wrong on the field. It stood there for their entire launch. It stood there for the time it took them to get there. And now it is currently still just standing there as they transform into the Voltes 5. Because, you know, it's not like it's some sort of ranged unit that can shoot them from where it's at. Oh, wait, it's an archer. No, that's right. Sarcasm, by the way. Oh, that's it. It was just standing there waiting for it to be commanded to attack. Look, I already said, I don't want General Oka to die, but dude was dead. Dude was dead. How do you acknowledge that he didn't just fucking die there? Other than to say, Oh, we just didn't animate extra cells of the guy moving his hands. I mean, technically, the lightning always strikes when they pull out the sword. I feel like they're just doing a Back to the Future thing. We need the 1.21 gigawatts to melt Mazinger armor. Ah, that's fucking hilarious. He just dodges. I'm sorry, I was just remembering now. That was the joke from the next time on that I was thinking. It's the Master Sword. When you're at full health, you can shoot with the Master Sword. I mean, it's not hilarious that our team is suffering. It's just hilarious that your grand plan could have been beaten by a little jump back. God, I hope you're not one of the soldiers, because you really feel like you're suffering in that face. Like, this is a character I expect to see in the afterlife in Beetlejuice. You know, thinking about it, remember Azul had the layout of the Voltes 5? They technically know where everybody is in the Voltes 5. This guy could have shot literally every one of them in their cockpits. See, I don't know what to think now. I threw out the idea that it's Professor Go on my own. So now that they think it's Professor Go, is that the show trying to subvert me? I can't tell. So the new thing makes it so weak that even the bazooka can hurt you. I will say, as stupid as this all was, that probably was the most effective beast machine yet. Beyond maybe the amoeba. Not for nothing, it just literally fell over. Skull Ship is still in the area. Just go attack it, Skull Ship. That's the Bosnian problem, is they always leave the fight when there is an opportunity to win.
まだ5人は生きているぞ。博士、あの飛行メカが落としていった通信カプセルです。
Schematics.
これはボルテス5の改
Yes,
造
that's
計
more
画
proof that it is Professor Go, though.
奴の正体は
Professor Go, though. Professor Go, comma, though.
またも危機を救ってくれた謎の飛行メカ。その飛行メカが教えるボルテスの改造計画とは何か。そして一体この計画の送り主は誰なのだろうか。
Hardly. I guessed it even before the episode. I will say I was not feeling the threat when Dessler. Sorry, I'm also just now thinking about it. Dessler, the name of the Führer from Space Battleship Yamato. Another callback. I wasn't threatened by the fact that it pulled out a sword, because literally we went through this already with the butterfly catching move from, I can't remember, one of the earlier episodes with the literal sword expert guy that Kenichi had to study. So we've already been in a situation like that. Like, I know they were down on their hands and knees, but they could have just, like, caught it real quick. Sorry, push to talk hand, so I can't, like, imagine the other hand is there and I'm catching the blade. Though, if it is Professor Go, then this sequence here of them running together makes more sense, you know? They can finally come together after whatever, you know, for whatever reason the professor's not with them now.
新兵器超電磁ボールのコントロールにケンイチたちは全てをかける。謎の飛行メカを操る者は誰か。戦闘不能となったボルテス5に新たな鎧重視が襲いかかる。次回ボルテス5謎の飛行メカとの合体にご期待ください。
I like that because it does a bunch of the things that I've mentioned in the past. One, we've been infinitely more successful when we've attacked with multiple beast fighters at the same time. Boom, we're doing 2 here. And we have the skull ship out. And we have the saucers. Because again, you might not remember this, almost completely destroyed the Earth with just saucers. Like, jets, battleships, doesn't matter. Nothing stands up to the saucers except for the Voltace machines. And even the Voltace machines uncombined barely had much success against the saucers. So, bringing out the saucers completely negates the majority, or completely negates all of the Earth defense forces. Now, apparently, the Eagle, the Red Eagle thing, can take on the saucers, so obviously not negated there. But, you know, we have the skull ship on hand, and we have 2 beast fighters on hand. So, not for nothing, that is something. As for this episode, though, I don't really have that much more to add. Obviously, I will have more to add when I take the notes, but I can't really think back to stuff that happened in the episode that I didn't already very specifically talk about at length. Again, as much as I didn't want General Oka to die, because again, I don't want Megumi's dad to die, but in fairness to everybody else that's fucking died, the dude was just holding the ship and was crushing it and then stopped for 2 minutes. I know calling the show out for that's not realistic doesn't make a whole lot of goddamn sense, because the show is not realistic. We're still technically in Super Robot era. We're not in Real Robot era. This is part of the Romance Trilogy, which means it's progressing its way to Real Robot, but it's still technically not. So, I can't really call it out on that. And just at the same time, consistency. Like, we just called back to the mother's death 2 episodes ago? Yeah, 2 episodes ago. So, invoking that Oka might die. And of course, on the next time on, they're fucking back at sea. I assume we had more shots of General Oka on a ship. So, might be in danger yet again. I just not gonna believe it when Oka dies because of this, assuming that he ever does. Might have had that voice actor on for a while. Who knows? But yeah, again, the majority of my thoughts are probably going to come from the notes section because, again, I can't think of anything I haven't already said out loud. So, that said, I think that's going to be the end of this episode. So, once again, I have been Theta. This has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?